At our final court hearing, my wife's lawyer laughed. "Enjoy your new life, Mr. Harris," as if losing my marriage, home, and savings was some kind of joke. I stood there in silence, gripping the papers that finalized everything. My wife, Megan, didn't even look at me. She sat beside her lawyer, perfectly calm, dressed like someone who'd already moved on. 4 years, I'd built a life around her dreams, paid for her business degree, worked overtime to help her start her boutique, gave her everything I could. But when her shop took off and money started coming in, I became the dull one, the man she'd outgrown. The divorce was her idea. "We want different lives," she'd said coldly, though I suspected her new life had a name. The judge adjourned the case, and as I walked out of the courtroom, I felt strangely weightless. Not free, not relieved, just empty. Everyone told me I'd recover, but no one understood what it's like to watch the person you loved become a stranger. For weeks, I avoided people. I lived quietly, spent my days fixing old furniture for neighbors just to keep busy. Then, one evening, I got a message from an old college friend, Ryan, who ran a small real estate firm. "Heard you're handy with woodwork," he said. "Want to help me restore a property?" I said yes without thinking. That one project turned into a full-time partnership. We bought old homes, restored them, and sold them. Within 2 years, the business exploded. We weren't just fixing houses, we were building a brand. The work healed something in me. I stopped checking Megan's social media, stopped wondering what she was doing. I finally started living again. Then, one morning, while signing a new client contract, I froze. The name on the file, Megan Carter. My ex-wife. Life has a cruel sense of timing. She'd gone back to her maiden name. Ryan noticed my reaction. "You okay?" I nodded slowly. "Yeah, just surprised." That afternoon, when she walked into my office, her expression said it all. Shock, guilt, and a flicker of something that looked like regret. "Daniel," she said softly, "I didn't know you worked here." I smiled politely. "Own it, actually." Her jaw tightened. "Oh." She looked around the bright office, the photos of restored homes, the awards on the wall. "You've done well for yourself." "I've been busy," I replied, keeping my tone neutral. We discussed the property, one of her boutique's new expansions. She needed quick renovation, high-end design, all on a tight budget. I could tell she expected me to refuse or be petty, but I didn't. "We'll handle it," I said simply. Business is business. Over the next month, we met several times. She tried to make small talk, asking about my life, but I kept it professional. One afternoon, as we walked through the nearly finished space, she said quietly, "You've changed." I smiled faintly. That's what happens when people stop underestimating you. She sighed, glancing at the floor. "I didn't mean to hurt you, Daniel." "You didn't just hurt me," I said evenly. "You broke what we built together. And then you laughed as it fell apart." Her eyes glistened. "That wasn't me who laughed." "No," I said, looking straight at her, "but you didn't stop him either." The silence that followed was heavier than any courtroom. She looked around the shop, maybe realizing that every inch of success she saw was something I built after she left. "You really did start a new life," she said finally. "Your lawyer was right," I replied with a small smile. I did. On opening day, she invited me to the ribbon-cutting ceremony. I went, not out of pride, but closure. As cameras flashed and her friends cheered, she gave a speech thanking the amazing restoration team that made this dream possible. When she called my name, the crowd applauded. I walked up, shook her hand, and smiled for the photo. But as the cameras clicked, I leaned closer and said quietly, "You were right to leave. You just never thought I'd rise higher without you." Her hand trembled slightly. Later, as I walked away, Ryan chuckled beside me. She looked like she'd seen a ghost. I just smiled. "No," I said. She saw what respect looks like when it's earned. Months passed, and one evening, I got a letter in the mail. It was from Megan. Inside was a simple note. "You were always the better person." I just didn't see it until too late. I folded the paper carefully, placed it in my drawer, and went back to my workbench. That laugh in the courtroom had haunted me once. Now, it fueled me. Because sometimes, the best revenge isn't shouting or anger. its peace, success, and the quiet dignity of proving that the person they left behind became someone they could never forget.